Hi, welcome to another edition of Eating Sharp with Lynn Sharp. And on this recipe, I dug into my family recipes and found a wonderful recipe to use up some of the pumpkin that you had left over from when you made the brownie pumpkin cheesecake mixture. So what you'll first want to do is take either a half a cup of shortening or a half a cup of applesauce. And in this cake recipe, I'm just going to go with all the fat and all the extra calories because you don't do it all the time. So you could use a half a cup of applesauce. Now, if you do the shortening, I went ahead and whipped the shortening up some so that it's not so solid. And to that, we're going to add a cup and a fourth of sugar. So we'll blend this together. And it'll come out a little crumbly, but you'll know that it's all mixed together. Okay? Now to this, we're going to want to go ahead and add the 2 eggs. And we'll blend them in as well. Okay, so we have the shortening, the sugar, and the eggs. Next, we're going to want to go ahead and add the pumpkin. It is 1 cup of pumpkin. Now, again, this recipe calls for pumpkin puree, not the pumpkin that has already got the spices and everything else to it that's been processed. So you just want pumpkin puree. And we're going to go ahead and add 3/4 cup of milk. Now, to make it even richer and fatter, I'm adding whipped cream. It's going to make it very, very rich, moist. It's just going to make it a very nice cake. You don't have to. You can add skim milk, whole milk, or low-fat milk. We'll want to add a half a teaspoon of baking soda. Let's go ahead and add that right in, like that. Then we're going to go ahead and give this a nice blend to incorporate the milk and the pumpkin. There we go. Now we can go ahead and add our 2 cups of flour. Make sure those don't fall over. Our 3 teaspoons of baking powder. Our half a teaspoon of salt. And then our spices. I have ginger, clove, nutmeg, and cinnamon. It's 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, 1 teaspoon of nutmeg, and 1/4 teaspoon of the ginger and the cloves. Now you can add more or less of the spice if you'd like, but I think this combination gives it a nice flavor. It doesn't overpower the pumpkin. So start your mixture on low to incorporate that flour into the batter. And once it starts to get incorporated in, you can go ahead and turn it up. Now this goes into a 9x13 pan that I've already gone ahead and greased. And you want to set your oven at 350. My oven is already set at 350. In fact, it's got something else baking in it right now. So we're going to go ahead and get this ready. And we'll just pour this right into your 9x13 greased pan. It looks a little thick, but this cake comes out very moist. It's just a wonderful cake to serve in the holiday season, Christmas time, Thanksgiving, you know, all those type of holidays. Go ahead and spread it out into your pan. Make sure it's even. It doesn't have to be flat, but just make sure it's a little even like that. And of course I have to taste it. It's wonderful. That pumpkin is going to come out really nice. So this will go into your, again, your 350 degree oven for about 35 to 40 minutes. You want to make sure that you test it to make sure that your poker comes out clean, or that it starts to pull away from the sides as well, and you'll know it's done. So be sure to check my website here. Get all my recipes and my latest videos. Now remember, it's going into a 350 degree oven for about, I would check it at about 30 minutes right in the center to see if the pit comes out clean. And if it does, just pull it out of your oven right away. If not, bake it for another 5 or so minutes and then check it again. Now let me give you a hint on these boiled eggs. If you bring it to a boil, put them in cold water, a little vinegar, and bring them to a boil. Then you set your timer for 10 minutes and let them boil for 10 minutes. Take them off the stove, right out of the hot water, and put them into a cold bath and chill them down. Your yolks will stay nice and bright yellow for your deviled eggs. So that's a nice cooking tip for you. And the cake is ready to pull out of the oven. This is that old family recipe cake. Let me turn this off. The pumpkin cake to help you use up all your pumpkin that you bought. Look at how nice that looks. It's springy. It smells delicious. We'll put it here on the cooling rack. Of course, the cooling rack is on the yams. Oh, we'll move that out of the way over here. I've got the yams here. We have the deviled eggs ready to go. So until next time, make sure you check out my website. And this is Lynn Sharp with Eating Sharp and Eat Well. Bye-bye.